Pandora's box is about to open wide.
Hello, I'm monitoring the situation.
Drew is monitoring the situation.
Yes.
This is a broadcast announcement. Drew is monitoring the situation.
I certainly am.
Drew is monitoring the situation. Please remain indoors.
Remain silent.
Drew is monitoring the situation. Please remain indoors. Welcome to Pandora's Box. Please remain indoors.
And
Drew is
remain
monitoring
silent.
this broadcast. Please remain indoors.
We are all monitoring.
We are all monitoring the situation.
And you are being monitored.
You are being monitored in this situation. Hi, everybody. We're in Kent. Hi, Kent.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, we're me and Drew are doing some work in Kent this week, but we wanted to bring you something. So we had cameras and mics and stuff, so we thought we would just do a little impromptu Pandoras
In her beautiful abode.
in our little beautiful chalet. It's like a little red chalet right on the coast in Kent. It's this little place called Kingsdown. Very jolly, nice place, I have to say.
Right near Deal.
Right near Deal. What's the deal, man?
What's the deal here, man?
What's the
with this
deal
place?
with that?
It's ruddy beautiful, I can
Yeah,
tell you that.
It's
right
really
on the
close.
sea.
Yeah, it's really close to
Oh.
Dover, isn't it? We went
Yeah.
in the sea earlier
Cliffs
on.
of Dover.
There will be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover.
And we don't usually have an alcoholic beverage either on the pod, but we've all, seeing as we're in our nice little
Holiday mode.
chalet and we've just been to a really
Clinkies?
nice meal,
Clinkies.
let's all do a clinky. Let's do a
Clinkies.
cheers.
Oh, I haven't got a
Clinkies.
Clinky. I've
Oh,
just got a bottle.
water
Clink-
clinky.
Clinky or
Water
Evian.
clink. Water clink.
Water clinkies.
Water
Water
clinkers.
clinkies. Yeah, we went for a nice swim in the sea earlier. It was real nice. So we're at Kingsdown, which for anybody that doesn't know Kent very well, which to be honest, we don't either. We're obviously from the west coast. West side represent. But we're from Somerset on the west coast. This is east coast. So we feel like Dr. Dre in freaking Biggie's backyard right now.
I wish I did.
Don't we? That's how I feel. But just in a way more.
I wish I felt like Snoop Dogg.
But just in a way more British way.
In a low rider.
In a very,
So yeah, less drive-bys, more pints and fish and chips.
pasties.
Skinny dipping in
Pasties.
your pants. And
Yeah,
getting really
Drew
sunburnt
got
sort
his
of way.
Drew got his bum and his balls out in front of a load of random people.
Damn,
earlier on.
I did not know all those people were behind me.
It was great. Yeah, so me and Drew had we got to Kent yesterday. It was a long old drive from where we are in Somerset. As I said, we literally live on the west coast. So by the way, this is Emily, my missus. I've spoken about her lots on the pod before, but she's never been in full visual splendour, probably because she would break the camera with her beauty. And this is Allis. She's like a sister to me, and by that I mean I like her, but she also really annoys me. But I love her really, and she's basically a part of the family. And Allis and Emily are both very interesting people, so we can talk to them about interesting things today that maybe aren't necessarily mine and Drew's forte. You know, for instance, Allis is very well versed in botany. That's the plants, basically, and flowers. You know, knowledge of plants, the academic study of plants and flowers. Allis is also basically our unofficial plant waterer in our house because me and Em don't ever water our plants.
No,
But
plants
Allis
come to our
does.
house to die, don't they?
Yeah, because Allis
Basically.
is also hench and comes over and works out with us
yeah.
pretty much every single week.
We had some good workouts.
Yeah, man.
Does
So
it
I said
strong
earlier on,
power.
didn't I, when we were in the sea together. So we all got in the sea earlier on, and I was like, Team Volga, we trained
Team Volga,
together,
represent.
and we bathed together.
We bathed.
That's what I said as we were bobbing up and down in the seas of
In the
Kingsdown.
beautiful turquoise seas of Kingsdown.
Yeah, so it was it was a long drive here yesterday, wasn't it? We left
Yeah, it was super long.
we left our house in Stagursey about 20 to 12 in the morning, and we got to Deal about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6
What's
p.m.
that?
it was around that, wasn't it?
Bit
Past that.
Past that.
Yeah.
About 20 past.
We did stop for about, might have even been half an hour in the end, because we sort of took it in turns to go out, and get sarnies and stuff, because we had little babbins in the car, and I needed to get some fuel, and then we ended up going through a drive-through Starbucks.
Drive by.
We'd drive by, but just rather than
Your Dr. Dre and I'm Snoop Dogg.
yeah, this is just
Back
a
to
real
this
weird
again.
thing. But rather than
Sorry.
papping people off, instead you just go, "Excuse me, can I have a frappe latte, please?" Very politely, and then just give somebody money for it.
Coconut caramel.
A coconut.
With no cream.
Yeah, it's
Very specific.
It's
orders,
weird.
It's one of those woke ones, man.
Yeah, it's one of those.
One of those
Hipsters.
hipster.
It's
one of
Very
those hipster
with
drinks.
our coffee orders.
It's slightly stressful going
Embarrassingly.
to.
It did look really nice though,
Well, delicious.
and I even tried. I tried a bit of yours today. What was that? Was that a coke? What was it?
Coconut milk. Salted caramel. Frappe.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's
That was
embarrassing going to like any like coffee place, say with Allis and Emily, because they get really woke stuff. Whereas me and Drew are like,
Yeah,
me and Drew are like cappuccino.
It's delicious.
We're
good.
just
It
like-
woke me up.
yeah, woke me up,
Oh, that sugar.
mother effer. Yeah, we're just like, yeah, can I have like a cappuccino, please? And then it's like, can I have a oat mocha frappe
Chocolate.
with caramel syrup, low sugar with frippen garden stargen,
Extra
chai,
hot.
chai majungus,
Tall,
And a baby
extra hot.
chino.
And a baby chino.
and a baby chino,
Mm.
extra marshmallow.
That's cute that the Babbins has a baby chino.
She
Yeah.
is a full hipster child.
Evie
if I ever
loves her
take her
baby
shopping,
chinos.
she is just so funny.
Obviously, we're talking about our daughter Evie.
Yeah.
She loves her baby
She's
chinos.
upstairs
She just-
in bed at the moment.
Yeah, she was very overtired today. Well, as I said, it took us like a long time to get her yesterday, so we made that one stop. But even so, like, and to be fair, I did say we left at like 20 to 12. We did pick up Allis, and then we went and met Drew in town, loaded up the car and that. But I don't reckon we were any more than like 5-10 minutes. So as I said, long old drive here, all the way from right on the west coast of England. As I said, where me and Em live, it's like 5 minutes like from the coast, isn't it? Lowestoft, which is like right on the coast. Which, by the way, Lowestoft's been quite famous in the sort of paleontology world, like as of late, because they found, I think it might have been
What, the biggest ichthyosaur?
one of, if not the biggest ichthyosaur.
What is an
fossil.
ichthyosaur?
It's like a giant aquatic marine reptile. It was one of the biggest creatures that ever lived on Earth, like ever, through any time period.
That must be pretty
Was it when-
big.
They think even,
Bigger than the blue whale.
One of, so obviously
Wow.
the blue whale is considered like the biggest, but they
Up there.
like so paleontologists think that the biggest ones could have maybe even rivaled a blue whale in size.
Wow.
I think they called them, a nickname for them is like sea dragons. But to think of what an ichthyosaur looked like in layman's terms, they almost look like a aquatic lizard version of aquatic marine reptile. Sorry, not a lizard, reptile version of almost like a dolphin. I always think. Have you ever seen those like in any sort of like paleontological like documentaries or anything?
They have like they almost look like oars or like flippers. Or am I thinking of
Yeah,
mosasaurs?
I don't know.
Like four almost like paddle-like.
No, you're thinking of mosasaurs.
mosasaurs. No.
So ichthyosaurs almost a bit more like dolphins, except for obviously their tail fins were more like a shark's, whereas in dolphins what you see nowadays is their fins go like that. So if you think all cetaceans, and it's because they evolved from having legs like we do, they swim like that, their back fins go like that, whereas if you notice all fish, they swim like
it's
that.
like sideways. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So
So
ichthyosaurs
sideways
would have
instead of
done
up
that
and
as
down.
well.
Wow.
I don't really know why. You would have thought it would have made more sense for them to do that as well.
If they're
Because
more like dolphins.
they are from, because if they evolved from reptiles, like land reptiles, you'd think it would make more sense because obviously reptiles have legs as well. So I don't know why they went from side to side, but yeah, ichthyosaurs. All of you dino nerds and
Ichthyosaur.
I say one thing I know that sort of does slightly trigger me, and I know triggers a lot of people that are super into their paleontology, and that is some people refer to aquatic marine reptiles as dinosaurs.
Right.
They're not.
yeah.
They're their
not.
own type of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like dinosaurs, the same way that you know that like a lizard is a specific type
Yeah.
of reptile, right? Like a dinosaur was a specific type of reptile. So the aquatic marine reptiles.
It wasn't just a whole
were-
thing
yeah.
of like.
So to say that like
all of them
sea
at the time.
dinosaurs, it's like it would be like saying, I'm trying to think of like an analogy, but do you know what I mean? It would be like saying, I don't know, it's really hard to think of an analogy, but it's how like I don't know.
They're different, man.
This is going to be like really bad analogy, but like how like a cat and a dog are like both mammals. They both have 4 legs. They both have tails. But it'd be like, oh look, it's one of those little whiskery dogs.
But
like,
it's not
nah,
a dog. It's
nah,
a cat.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So like that would just be like really obvious.
When
to
all
us,
the
but-
dinosaurs got wiped out, did like things like ichthyosaurs get wiped out as well at the same time?
Yeah, well,
or did any of them like survive?
I
that
don't
impact,
think
do you reckon?
ichthyosaurs even made it to the K2 extinction,
Oh.
which is the extinction event that happened in the Cretaceous period about 66 million years ago that wiped out the dinosaurs. I think this is like with like zero, obviously, like prep or looking into it. So don't kill me, anybody out there that's like, Calum, you are an idiot. But I've off the top of my head, I think. Oh man, I hate it. When you say these things, you always like I feel like they were more like
Like a
around
little
in
bit.
They
like,
were
the-
older.
I feel like they were more in the Jurassic period. I may be wrong though. They may have been Cretaceous animals. I think that the most dominant aquatic marine reptiles in the Cretaceous period, I think they were mosasaurs, which is like for anybody that's seen like the newest Jurassic World movies with like Chris Pratt and that. That's like, you know, that giant marine, you know, it's like mosasaur. It's in the movies. It's like kills a lot of stuff in it. But yeah, but when did ichthyosaurs live, or what period? Approximately 90 million years ago. Oh, thank God.
You were right.
So when did they die?
They declined due to environmental volatility
Baby.
Can I have a look?
caused
Sorry,
by
Dan.
climatic upheavals in the early late Cretaceous, becoming extinct.
Approximately
around the-
90 million years ago.
Goodness me, that's a lot of words. There.
Yeah, so they died out. Sorry, ichthyosaur diversity declined due to environmental volatility caused by climatic upheavals in the early late Cretaceous. So at first I was like, that's an oxymoron, but it's not. But they did become extinct before the K2 extinction, so that sort of, that's interesting, isn't it?
I find it really interesting that they seem to find more of those types of prehistoric
Marine reptiles.
marine reptile.
Yeah.
Don't say dinosaur.
Yeah.
Around like the
Don't
coast
trigger
where
me.
we live.
Don't trigger me.
It's funny though when you think of what that coast looks like. The coast is always breaking away, just bit by bit, isn't it? So
Also-
it's like
There's
uncovering, like
They
more.
didn't they uncover one when they were doing something with Hinkley Point as well?
Oh
Probably.
yeah, they had to
I
stop
swear
work for
my
a
dad
bit
said
there.
that they'd found something when they were, I don't know, digging or something. I'm sure one of those is now in the Natural History Museum in London. 'Cause we saw it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and it's really funny because obviously like we travelled all the way to like London from where we live.
It's like,
And then we went,
that's
and it was
From
literally
down the
like
road.
from Lilstock, and it was
Yeah.
like we literally live like 2 miles from there.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, when you like, see something like that, it's a bit surreal.
Yeah.
It was a bit like today when you had that pint of Sheppies in
oh yeah.
the pub. Obviously, we're in Kent, which is like
Sheppies
235
side,
miles
yeah.
from.
And I'm like,
from
oh,
London.
they got Sheppies.
And then they had like a
Because
pint
I like
of
that
like
loads
Sheppies.
more like than Thatcher's, and Thatcher's is normally the one that you see in pubs and stuff.
But is Sheppies literally a Somerset brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still so it's like a bit like
There's a cider
a bit like
farm
that.
near Taunton.
so. Just to say, because I looked at
somewhere
when
near there.
I looked at when ichthyosaurs evolved, and it said they evolved 250 million years ago.
Whoa, dude.
So and then they lived to 90 million years ago. So yeah, they evolved a very very long time ago.
It's mad how like, you know, these things just all had their day, like, and it's something like all this whole team of animals or things will grow, like be on the earth and then go, and then
Have
the
their
next
time.
lot come,
And then it's
and it's you know, and we're relatively kind of new. In
Oh,
all
we're
of that.
we're
What do you think will come
super
after
new.
us?
Yeah,
We're
it is.
super
It's,
new.
like, it's a natural thing for the earth to have these like be inhabited by different types of animals and
Yeah.
different types of beings.
Yeah.
Then there's extinction events, and then the next lot come in. You know, it's just like it seems to be this cycle that
Man,
keeps
the
happening.
dinosaurs ruled the earth for like hundreds of millions of years.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think the first dinosaur evolved about, I think, the Triassic period, which is like the first time, you know, the official sort of time of the dinosaurs. I think that started, I want to say off the top of my head, 330 million years ago. I think. I say it might be a bit off.
Do you want me to consult the oracle?
Consult the oracle. By that means
Consult the
Em's going to
oracle.
Google.
Google.
It. Yeah, say when did the Triassic period start? Google that.
Okay.
But I want to say it was about 330 million years ago, and it ended 65 million years ago. So think how long that period is.
It's a long old time.
That's hella long.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? That's like hundreds of millions of years.
imagine when the
And
Triassic
then
period
I
ended.
think the first hominid evolved 2 million years ago.
Would the atmosphere?
So-
sorry.
Sorry.
No, go.
The Triassic period began 251
Oh, I was way
million
off.
years ago. That's crazy.
I failed
I can't
everyone.
even comprehend that amount of time.
I'm sorry, guys. I failed you all.
Well,
Why did I think it was that?
can't know it all.
Look at
You still know
None
more
of
It's
them.
so
about
epic.
this
For me,
thing
it's
than
like
anybody else.
very long time ago.
Yeah.
Slightly less, very long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
Last
fine.
week.
Listen to how epic
Or
this
like,
sounds.
as Evie says, anything that didn't happen today, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter like how long ago, it was still yesterday.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Yeah, she literally
It's
does
kinda
that
true.
with everything. It's like,
Yeah.
it could be like 3 weeks ago, and she was like, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to how epic this is. It's like the Triassic period began after Earth's worst ever extinction event devastated all life on Earth. The Permian
life.
Triassic extinction event, also known as the Great Dying,
Oh, lovely.
took place roughly 252 million years ago and was one of the most significant events in the history of our planet.
So what happened? I want to know more now.
Do you want to look into the Great Dying?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, Google the Great Dying, Em.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we went off on the right tandem because I literally started talking about.
We're talking about Kent, and now we're talking
I
about
was talking about
dinosaurs.
like livestock, and then I did think it was an interesting bit of trivia though that we live just down the road from where one of the biggest ichthyosaur, well, one of the biggest animal like fossils ever from anywhere in the world was found. We travelled all the way from there to Kent, so we're doing some work here this week. Em and Allis and my daughter Evie.
Oh, it
What?
was that one. So it was
What's that?
when multiple volcanic eruptions happened.
Was it
which-
like all the
So it's a
volcanoes on the
volcanic
Earth
one
Yeah, yeah.
rather than
Which
an
caused the
impact,
sort of
because mostly
greenhouse
it's
effect.
impacts usually, isn't it?
Yeah, so this one was like every volcano on Earth.
So
erupted at the same time.
It wiped out 95% of both land and ocean species.
So imagine think about what the damage that say when Mount Vesuvius erupted and then there's like all of
yeah.
Pompeii just got imagine that but on almost like a global scale. Where you can go to Pompeii and there's literally just like people that have basically been turned to stone.
Yeah, and you can see the
it's so-
positions.
yeah.
Have you been?
No, but I've seen loads of
You've
pictures.
been,
And I've
haven't
always
You've
wanted
been
to
as
go.
well, haven't you?
You've been
What
and
was
me
it
and
like,
Em, me
Alice?
and Em have been.
Very interesting.
It is.
Was it
It's fascinating.
it like weird to see the people?
It's sad, don't you
It's
think?
interesting to see how people
yeah.
lived back then and how they built their homes and even how they decorated it as well and
Yeah.
brought really vibrant paint colours into it and things.
Yeah, because trying to take almost a positive. I mean, it's not really a positive because it's devastating, obviously, for the people. But
It preserved.
in an
It was
archaeological
preserved,
way, it's actually really informative because obviously all of the towns all the old Roman places that survived and they naturally over the years things got knocked down and then rebuilt and other buildings took the place. So there's not obviously you can go to Rome, say, and there's original Roman buildings, but a lot of them have been altered or graffitied or something, or weather erosion has worn away stuff. Whereas, as Alice said, because it was almost buried so neatly. And because of the excavations, you can still see the
Yeah.
original paint on the walls.
Yeah.
So
and
you-
can see
so-
how the town would have
Yeah.
looked, how it's laid out, the roads.
There's
look like.
literally paint on the
Yeah.
walls.
It's
There's
amazing.
even
Horse carts, their wheels.
Yeah, they made
engraved.
Yeah.
the grooves in the
stones.
stone where they were running
Where
up
they-
and
yeah.
down.
And I'm pretty sure there's even
Amazing.
shop signs, aren't there? Where over doorways that's bakery and
Funny fact, there is lots of little willy cutouts
Yeah.
for where
Yeah.
there'd be.
Was there?
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
prostitutes.
No, I remember because we were laughing at it at the time, and I
I don't
remember,
remember.
I remember saying oh, Nicky C's it's Nicky C's Roman ancestor,
Yeah.
because our mate Nicky C has he loves drawing dick and balls everywhere, doesn't he? It's his thing. It's one of his trademark things. But there were just dick and balls everywhere. And apparently, I remember reading as well something what was it? It was ladies of the night, if you want to call them but prostitutes. Wouldn't they wear certain shoes or something? Was it something like that would leave a certain mark in the ground so people would know to follow them?
The hoofs of Satan.
Satan's hooves. Yeah. I can't remember if it was shoes. It was something. I just remember that it was something that meant that men would know to follow him. It was quite. It was quite discreet.
That's crazy.
But I need to remember what that was. But I remember thinking it was fascinating. But also, I think was it Pompeii? I think it was. I want to say the oldest historical drawing of a pizza is in Pompeii.
Of pizza.
Because people don't know
Wow.
exactly when Italians, modern day Italians, obviously formerly Romans, sorry man, actually started eating pizza. But there's basically like a drawing of a pizza in Pompeii that they uncovered. So it was like, oh right, so they had them like, you know, when Pompeii was buried. I don't think it's exactly like a modern day pizza, but it's like
life.
Huh?
Pizza certainly is.
Yeah,
life.
pizza is amazing, and
Yes, it is in Pompeii. Yeah.
What the pizza?
Yeah.
2,000-year-old picture of pizza.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Talking of preservations, what have you seen that like mummified ice girl who's like mummified in the ice
With
and
the tattoos.
oh she's got
Is this like a new one or?
It's a new.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw it pop up on like on the internet the other day, and it was like this like tattoo that was on her arm, and they didn't realize that back then people would have such intricate like tattoos, like, you know, and it made me think of when we were talking to Hamilton Souther, and he was talking about anthropology and how one of the studies that he did was about tattoos, or that his lecturer did or something, was about tattoos and why people get death tattoos basically. And and that was mad, but she was so well preserved that all her organs and everything were all like preserved. That is, you know?
I always think it's like fascinating when like in Siberia or somewhere like that they'll like uncover like a woolly mammoth and it's like got all its blood in organs still, and it's like still covered in fur, and it's like, that's crazy. And there was another fossil they found of a bloke. This was longer ago, like at least 10 years ago. I can't remember exactly where it was. It was obviously somewhere that's basically been covered in ice for like hundreds of thousands of years. And they found a guy, and I think they came to the conclusion that he'd been murdered or something. He'd like been shot in the back with an arrow or something like that.
Oh, I think I remember this one.
Does that ring a bell to
you?
And
he travelled for quite a while with like one wound or something like that.
And then obviously he like succumbed to swims, but he was like perfectly preserved as well. And it's just like crazy. Like had all his like his like leather shoes on.
Yeah, like either ice or dirt can do that.
Yeah.
Like Göbekli Tepe, how it was buried 10,000 years ago, and so it was like perfectly preserved.
Yeah, again like Pompeii basically.
Yeah, so that they you know, and that's not all of that's uncovered yet, and it just makes me think. Imagine what else is out there that isn't uncovered
Hasn't
yet.
Been discovered
yeah,
yet.
Because we're finding these things all of the time, and it's amazing because mud and ice do preserve it. So I bet there's so many preserved things that are gonna tell us more about our history, and you know.
I was reading the other day about when they found Tutankhamun's tomb and how like that was like obviously worldwide like mad archaeological news at the time. Which it would have been, wouldn't it? Because he was like one of the most like documented.
Is that the one where they did a recreation of what he would actually look like in real life, and it was all like bow-legged and stuff? Was that too? Or it might not have been Tutankhamun.
I think it was.
It was an Egyptian king who
I'm
was
pretty
really
sure they
famous.
think that he had lots of disabilities because of obviously the Egyptians were renowned, at least in the royalty, were renowned for inbreeding. And I think that George R.R. Martin, obviously the guy that wrote Song of Ice and Fire series, Game of Thrones and all that.
Targaryens.
He took a lot of he poured a lot of the Egyptian stuff into the Targaryens. Because in that show, they're notorious for inbreeding. That's one of the reasons why a lot of them go mad and stuff like that.
Dragon blood going.
Yeah, dragon blood. Give me some of that dragon blood. I think Egyptians in real life very much were like that. They used to think it would like keep the bloodlines pure to inbreed, but obviously we know with our modern science that
at least genetics get messed up.
Well, we all know, whether it's like backwoods, like rednecks, or whether, or like, in Britain we have our little towns that are like inbred little towns. Do you know what I mean? And
hey, Emily.
yeah.
Excuse me.
No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? We all had like a couple of people that we went to school with, didn't we? Like just a couple of people in the year that were like from a certain area. And they just had like
weren't quite firing on all cylinders.
Like big ears, narrow chins. Like one eye was looking this way and the other one was looking in the corner. And just like responded more to like grunts and stuff than like normal speech. Yeah.
Want to keep the stock from mongrels. Mongrels are healthier.
Yeah. They need like someone to come down, like move to like from a foreign country to like mate with them or something, just to like give their children
inject a bit of that new life in there.
Yeah, I remember always like joking
diversity.
I remember always like joking to my grandmother that it was a good thing really that she met my grandfather, and she was like, what do you mean, Cal? Because my grandma's from Stagursey, which is where me and Em live now, but that's like it's a little Somerset village, and it was a sort of thing that like back in the day before cars. Do you know what I mean? Like you'd even see somebody in like the next village over, like Stowy, or come at just like an outsider sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like one of these weird things. Whereas my granddad's from like the Isle of Man. Obviously, so completely fresh blood. There was like no way that my grandfather would have like any, even like 0.001%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like relations to my grandmother. So I was like, yeah, it's probably a good thing, innit? Innit, grandma? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, fresh blood, innit?
You'd probably be related otherwise.
Yeah.
It's like my granddad and Nan's Scotland and Malta, so that's pretty.
Yeah,
That's
pretty.
a nice little...
So Drew, me and Drew can both claim we're not inbred.
And that is so interesting when you do your DNA. Like have we all done our DNAs?
We have.
You've done your dog's DNA, but you haven't done your own DNA.
Oh,
yet.
let's talk about Alice's dog in a minute, because that's really
Yeah.
interesting, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about DNA.
But that's it's just interesting to look at all of the different places that they're actually coming up on your own DNA when you look into it. And I always think it would be a really cool thing to go to all of the places that you have in your DNA and actually see if you feel a connection with that part of the world.
I already feel like I do.
Yeah. But I'd love to actually
sure.
be there and actually like be in the lands and be like, whoa.
It's funny, isn't it? Because obviously your grandmother's from Malta, but like, how can you remember from your DNA test like how much Maltese blood you had?
It wasn't
much, was it?
It wasn't loads, no. Which is what I find is really strange.
But your grandmother's father was British, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But her mother was Maltese.
Yes.
So even your grandmother by blood is only half Maltese.
Yeah.
Which makes you, what, your dad's called, so you're like 1/8 Maltese.
I know, I think it was like the third most in my blood, or fourth most or something.
Well, that's still quite high then.
Yeah.
That's still quite high.
And
doesn't it sort of just depend? Isn't it just completely random, like genetically?
This is what I was going to say.
Sometimes it can get quite
which
confusing,
is weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
it's almost like
your genes will be different to like your siblings' genes.
Yeah.
They both have the same parents.
Yeah, I find that
it won't
mad.
be the same. Although
So
your
which
siblings
pool
are the,
did that
are the,
sperm
like,
have
most
or that
like
egg?
you than anyone else.
yeah, it's almost like the way I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about it is it's like, say you
Luck
had
of the
like
draw.
one lottery, it's all the same. Like say like obviously there's a different lottery. Like you can do lots of different lotteries, so it's the same lottery, but you could pull different numbers from that lottery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's all
Different
you're
genetic
pulling from the
codes.
same well, but like like you could have like frickin' 30% Scottish DNA, and then your brother might have like 12.
Yeah,
Like-
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's almost like a bit like jiggled about. It's quite funny like that, isn't it?
So you felt more of a pull to get your dog's DNA done rather than your own?
I just wanted to learn more about her behaviours, because obviously
'Cause
there's
you've got
lots
'em-
of
you've
breed
got-
traits, aren't there?
You got like a. Are they both mongrels? Both of them are mongrels.
Yeah.
But what was the one you were showing us earlier? Because Alice was showing us like the DNA results, and it's like got mental stuff in it, isn't it?
She's a rescue dog from Belarus, so no one really knew what she was.
She actually came from Belarus.
Yeah.
How did it even end up in the UK?
There's lots of companies that bring the dogs across.
But like, why?
I didn't actually get her from them, if you know what I mean. It was someone else local that I rescued.
Do you ever
her
feel
from.
like you had like a communication issue with your dog because your dog spoke Belarusian?
No, because she was rescued as a puppy. I think it was quite easy.
I like the idea of your dog's like barking, but in its head it's like
When I realised that the boxer dog where we live, so Chris's mum Jill has this big boxer, and it came over from like Spain. So I started being like, I was like, "Hola, Rusty," and he was like. I was like, "Hola!"
Hey, finally someone speak my language.
And I was going, what was I saying? Pero, which is dog in I was like, bien, pero, and he came over wagging his tail like this, like, you know,
Mate,
he like knew
that's
what, because they would
hilarious.
obviously say like good boy, but in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Oh, bien,
And it was like he
pero.
understood. It was funny because he
Mate,
didn't come over till he was like 2 or something, I think. So.
That's hilarious. But like with like the Belarusian dog, I'm gonna ask you more about the Spanish one as well. You probably don't know, but because it's not your dog. Oh, went floppy. Sorry about that, guys. Hate it when that happens. But with the Belarusian thing, like, so it was like an abused dog, was it?
I think she was just born on the streets.
Yeah, they have a lot of like street
But
dogs.
why
over
didn't
there.
they home it in Belarus? Why would they ship it all the way to the UK from Belarus?
We are much more acceptance of dogs.
Country. It might be like a. I don't know.
I don't know what their economy's like, but historically, the Belarusians are almost considered, like, in layman's terms, almost like elite Russians.
I don't know them.
So the people of Belarus, they're like very similar to the people of Russia, but they're almost considered like elite.
I think it's
That's what I remember hearing, like reading
Yeah.
and hearing anyway. You know.
like England and probably America and Europe. I don't know. Like, I think we treat our dogs really well compared to a lot of other countries. Like, I've been to
I
like
think we treat
lots of different
Yeah.
countries, and there's just dogs like roaming around the streets, like in pretty much all of them that I've been to.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember even Portugal, which you think of as quite a nice, like, you know, like not.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it's
really,
a nice, like, got rich
Yeah,
heritage
like-
culture. Like Christopher freaking Columbus came from Portugal.
Yeah.
The guy that, you know, like.
And it was still like loads of dogs running around and everything. And we were thinking, and you know, like how our culture in the UK, like most of our pubs, we were at the pub today and there was like dogs there, like, and everything, and just all chilling and stuff. Like, I think in a lot of places it's not like that, you know.
Sorry, I just wanted to interrupt. Belarus is considered one of the poorest countries in Europe.
Oh, so you were right, Alice.
Yeah. It borders Ukraine, and I've been there, and there's stray animals.
They're very much on the
everywhere.
Russian side, though, aren't they? With like the Russian-Ukraine war, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I don't know. Originally, I think they were Russian side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think
Oh.
I'm saying they're on the Russian side much more. They're like, I know that they're like, well, what it seems like to me. I haven't been looking into the war like a ridiculous amount. I have been following it, but it seems to me that they are almost like the most blatant supporters of Russia in the Ukraine-Russia war. That's what it seems like to me. Like they're openly in support of Russia. And I think, you know, I mean, they've even almost been like taunting countries like the UK and a bit like, you know, like saying that they might even invade. Do you know what I mean? If like certain things happen, that they would invade. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've heard
It's
little bits of that.
terrifying thought,
You don't
isn't
know
it?
how much of it is just bravado, or if they actually mean that, or, you know, because there's obviously a lot of politics involved with this. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of scaremongering and stuff. Sometimes it can be hard to discern, like, you know, is this like a serious threat, or is this more just like, essentially like people puffing up their chests? But yeah, interesting history. Anyway, like Belarus and stuff. I know that.
I've heard of all these places, but I just don't know much about any of them.
Yeah, but I just so getting back to, because it made me think.
Hilariously, the only thing I know is from when I've watched Eurovision.
Yeah.
What, Belarus?
Belarus.
Okay, nil point.
Ah. I mean, one thing I was going to say there, because you said about like we treat dogs well. I mean, and don't get me wrong, obviously no country's perfect and stuff.
I think it's all based on the person.
Well, you don't think we treat dogs well?
Not everyone.
No.
Oh no, of course.
Stray animals everywhere. Like my other rescue dog, he's a stray from the UK. He was probably a lockdown puppy.
Oh yeah.
People went back to work or just couldn't be bothered anymore and dumped him out on the streets. And
Of course, you can never.
It still happens.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Yeah, I think obviously
even in cities, you walk around cities and you don't see like, you know. I remember going to Kazakhstan when I was with my dad in Kazakhstan, and you look out of the back of their window and there's just all stray dogs running around, like gathering, because there was this heat coming from one of the factories or something, and they all see where the pipes are because it's so cold over there, and they all just like gravitate to
Gather
these
by
pipes
them,
just because that's where the heat
it
is
makes
and
sense,
stuff,
doesn't
you
it?
know.
Yeah.
But like, I think we're very tolerant of dogs as well, as in like we see them as pets and stuff. And I know everyone does, and you can see dogs as pets and that. But even when I went to Peru and everything, I remember being on the beach and there's just all dogs just on the beach, just straight.
But I remember it makes me think of like
makes
me think a little bit of like what Carmen was saying to us recently. Our Spanish friend, Carmen, like. And as I said, no country's perfect. Don't get me wrong. And as Alice did say as well, obviously it varies on the individual, but let's face it, generalizations are there for a reason, and in general I do think in the UK we do treat most things with a as far as human beings are concerned, a pretty decent level of respect. Like she was saying, she hadn't been in the UK for a while, at least like not living here in a while. I said she's from Spain originally. She's lived in the UK for years before. She hasn't lived in the UK for a couple of years though, and she came back and she was saying one thing that was really nice about being in the UK, and it was nice obviously for me to hear as a UK citizen, because I think obviously you hear a lot of people in Britain that, especially are British, tend to more moan about Britain, and it's because it's the only thing we know. So I think maybe sometimes we take it for granted.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong,
complacency thing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I don't think that means that like if you have an issue you shouldn't pipe up about it, because obviously we should always be trying to make it as good as it can possibly be. But she was saying how nice it was to be back in the UK, because men aren't like perving at her like in the street. Like she was,
I remember Meg was saying that
being like sexually
she
aggressive
felt like that in Greece a lot as well. She went all around the
Yeah.
Greek islands and stuff, and she felt like so uncomfortable.
Really?
She's always felt like kind of safe, but just like, you know, with what
was
you
more
know,
like blatant.
yeah, and like, you know, she went to a couple of hotels, and one of the hotels, like the hotel owner was like just coming on to her all the time, and
Really?
she literally just had to
What,
get
to
out.
the way-
She
point
had
where
to
it
get
made
up at 5 a.m. And like just leave the hotel super early in the morning and go to another hotel because she didn't want to, like, you know, she didn't want him to know she was going or whatever, because it was sort of like thing, but just to get away.
It felt quite
you know, and I was like,
serious
that must
for
be
it
a
as well.
horrible thing for like a woman just walking around like that. And even like I went when I went to Peru recently on the ayahuasca trip, like there's this lady called Barrett Perlman, and I was just watching her Instagram stories for one of her trips she went to before, and she's just walking along Iquitos. So this is in Peru, and everyone's like really sound there and everything. But you just walk and you just hear like like at her and stuff and all that. Like as she's walking past, she's like, "Oh, yep, that happens a lot here. I don't mind. It's all good." And you're just kind of like carrying on. But like,
I think stuff like that's more frowned upon in the UK. Like,
It's illegal, isn't it now?
it might even, I think it is actually. Isn't there like a new law to make like Wolfers and stuff illegal? But I said even if it wasn't though, I think it's like one of those things where like if a woman say was being harassed in the street, I think in a lot, you know, in most cases, especially if it was in a built up area, eventually I think the person that was doing the come-ons to the women would be condemned. Like, you know what I mean? Like, would be like widely condemned.
UK.
Yeah, like in a public situation. Like
yeah, if I see that, I'm like,
most of the
idiot.
if it like got out of
rather
hand,
than being like, yeah, go on, mate.
even
that
though
might have happened back along.
yeah, even though we're like awkward in the UK and we don't like the, do you know what I mean? Almost like the
we definitely tut under our breath. Like,
but I think it would get to the point where somebody would then go like me, like this, you know,
come
you're
on.
making this person feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or something. And then I think once one
It's
person
about
does, then a lot of
respect,
other
isn't it?
people would then come and join in.
100%.
And I mean, well, you know, I said like people like freaking Carmen said that herself. Do you know what I mean? She's lived in like several different countries and things like that. And yeah, like what you said about like Meg traveling. And obviously, by the way, that's nothing. Obviously, like I absolutely love Greece. By the way, that's nothing. We're not saying anything bad about Greece, and I respect Greece's culture and history and just as a place, one of my favorite places to go on holiday. So we're not saying anything bad about Greece.
It can just come over as disrespectful to the people that have to endure those things. Like,
well, look at our mate Max Karakidis. he's like a Greek mate. Literally, he has slept with like more women than I ever know than like anybody else. I think that I know, but it's because
I've even ever spoke to.
But it's like Max says, and it's like, and don't get me wrong, it's an extremely shameless way of going about it. But even like Max will say, like, the reason why he has is just because he will like shamelessly just pretty much come on to like every single woman he sees on a night. And I remember he said to me once, he was like, "Pirate," he was like, people would say to me like, "Man, how do you sleep with so many women?" He was like, basically, he's like, if you ask 10 women on a night out to sleep with you, he's like, one of those 10 women will say yes. And he was like, so I just do that like every night.
Wow.
And he's like, and some of them will call you a pig, some of them might even slap you, but when he was like, and then one will say yes.
But that'll be the one.
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, cool, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like, not particularly how I want to do things, but that's the reason I always, like, one of my nicknames for Max was always like the last Spartan, because basically Max would just drink and it would just be drinking and brawling and shagging. And that's basically like Max's life.
Spartan life.
Yeah, just a Spartan lifetime of just fighting and shagging and drinking until one day you go and meet Zeus in the sky, you know, on Mount Olympus.
Good way to go.
Yeah. Fair play, you know. Sorry.
I hope he doesn't listen to this.
Cheers, Max.
Max won't mind. Max won't mind. Nah, we're bros. It's cool. But yeah, so we're in Kent anyway. I'll tell you what though, it's like, yeah, so where we are in Kent, I said it's quite near like Dover, so obviously Dover's like super famous. But me and Drew did some stuff in Deal earlier, just some worky bits while the girls were walking around the shops, and then my favourite part of the day was when we just came back here and then went in the sea. That was so nice, wasn't
it? It did look really refreshing. I was actually a bit jealous.
Yeah, it's those moments like, you're sitting there, and I was sitting at the edge and I was watching you in the sea, and I was quite comfy, but getting a bit cold. It was a bit windy in that, and just going through these internal turmoil in my head, like, I want to go in, but I don't want to go in. but now I need to go in because I need to prove it to myself. I'm going in. But then when you're in, it feels like it feels so good when you're actually just like
Like it was so nice when we were all just there bobbing with each other.
Yeah, bobbing up and down in the old seat.
Bobbing along.
And it's so weird how you do warm up. It is so cold when you first go in, but like I don't know what that thing is with your body. It's like, is it some kind of protection mechanism for it or something that it gives you this false sense that it's warm?
The thing is, I know that there'd be like some, I don't know if it
scientific explanation.
Yeah, there'd be like some doctor or scientist out there that would be able to explain to us.
Come on, Alice, you're a botanist.
No, Drew, that would be a botanist.
I know. Yeah.
No, do you know what I mean? That would be able to explain it to us. But it's like I was saying to everyone earlier on, it's weird, isn't it? That like, say when you get in cold water, how at first the air feels warm and the water feels cold, but once you've been in the water for about 10 minutes and you climatize, the water feels warm and the air feels cold.
Yeah, you get your torso out and the wind starts blowing
so
out.
like,
You're like, oh, it's so cold. You'll get back in the water.
What's like making that happen? Like
is
the
it
water
this
goes from
thing that's happening in your body?
Yeah, the water goes from feeling really cold to feeling really warm, but then the air goes from feeling warm to feeling cold. What the hell is that about?
Whatever thing I say is not going to be right, and I'm going to be bashed by all of your fans. So
do it. Bring it on.
All of our many fans, all of our friends of the pod. No, friends of the pod are awesome people that would never do that.
No, that's true.
Keep it real, people.
Is it something to do with like your inner sort of thermostat,
inner monologue,
keeping your core at 37 degrees? Obviously, that is like the temperature your core temperature needs to be.
Emily, yes.
And then obviously, that, I don't know, like all the blood is going inward to keep your core 37.
Yeah, but why would that make the air feel cold?
I don't.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if anything, you think it would be like, oh, this is nice.
Because it does kind of feel numb. You like, you know, when you're in the water, your skin kind of feels more numb, doesn't it, or something? Yeah, how how it would feel if you like poked a seal.
Poked a seal? What, bloody?
I mean, not that I've done that.
You ever poked a seal? No.
No, I've never touched one.
I've been kissed by a seal.
Oh yeah, you have.
Kissed by a rose
on the cheek.
That's ironically that's by seal.
Yeah.
Yeah. We sang that to the girls, didn't we, on the way?
Yeah, that was fun.
Me and Drew, it's one of our old party tricks. Is a little duet of Kissed by a Rose. It was the first time we whacked it out in a long time, man. Yeah, so it's nice to know we
still had it.
We still had it, mate.
And Govinda Jaya.
Oh, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Oh, Anna Maya Jaya. Oh, Namana Govinda Jaya Jaya.
I've never heard that song until yesterday.
Kula Shaker, man. They're so good.
Oh, yeah. What was that? Oh, yeah, the Punjabi MC one as well.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, bangers, man. Yeah, we had all the bangers coming over yesterday. From old Summerland.
It was a really long drive, but it went like quite quick because it was like.
I don't know. I would say that was the best long drive I've ever had.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because like anytime you're driving like over 6 hours, like that's a long drive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it is for me anyway. I know there might be like some lorry driver out there that's like, it's nothing, mate.
That's nothing.
But it's like, do you know what I mean? I'm not like a trucker, man. Do you know what I mean? I just like. So it's not like I do like long distance driving that often. Like usually, like a 100-mile drive is like a long drive.
Yeah, I find it really hard.
So to do like a 235.
My eyes.
Drive, that's
always going like that. I find it amazing how you can stay awake for like that. You know, I remember when we were coming back from Deal last time, and I was going just sitting next to you, just like looking at the road.
Well, what choice have you got?
Like, it's like a form of travel sickness, like being really super sleepy. Apparently, when you're traveling, is a form of travel sickness.
Oh, and I always used to get travel sick when I was younger.
Oh, there you go. That's probably something to do with it.
Body's just shutting down. Like, just go sleep.
I used to sleep in the car a lot when I was a kid. You know what I mean? When I'd be with my parents. But I mean, as I said, I can't when I'm driving because we'd all die.
Well, yeah.
You know?
It is really nice to know I can rely on you to not
even though that's true though.
Well, I don't mean to brag.
Even though like I know I'll die if I crash the car.
You just don't care, man.
My body does not
YOLO.
care. It is literally like I'll be whacking myself in the face, just like proper slap. I have to have the windows down. Then I have to hurt myself. Like,
head out the freaking sunroof.
Physically slap and hit.
Tablets would do anything.
Oh, maybe.
Try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that on the next
I mean,
drive, and I'll probably be there like.
Either that or try imagine just trying a Viagra.
What? No.
Just take 5 Viagras, mate.
Ah, dear.
And just see what happens.
That can't end well, surely.
Well,
I'm not sure. I'd want my car to be in that mess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, knowing Drew, I know where it would end up.
For God's sake.
He's prone to some some swift car ejaculate.
Moving swiftly on.
Some car ejaculate.
Oh,
baby's present.
There are women here.
Bathing in motorway ejaculate.
Why does it always come
Ain't
down to
nobody
this?
got time for that.
Yeah, sorry everyone.
Apparently you did though.
Eh?
No.
No, I was like,
was
that
that?
changed the subject. Then this is what about. She said apparently you did though.
Yeah,
What,
I did.
bathed-
That was
bathed
actually.
in ejaculate.
No, I didn't bathe in ejaculate, but I did have an 80-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
once to keep myself awake, and that was literally to keep myself awake.
I mean, that's
But then wouldn't you
unfortunately.
be really tired out?
Yeah, I found that. That happened next.
That's why he always
It made
gets
it
tired.
worse. It definitely made it worse.
That turns out that's why Drew always gets tired on those long drives. It's because he always has to whack one out, whack the mole, you know. But whereas he should just be concentrating on the road, but he's always concentrating on the one-eyed monster, you know.
No,
No, my friend. No. Oh, what was I gonna say?
I don't know, but I think we should change the subject.
Should we move on? Oh yeah, no, all I was gonna say is, it's a shame that's never gonna be. Sometimes there's those lists, and it's and it's tick it off, and then I can't remember what it is. It's either you you get given points or take points taken away for everything you can tick off what you've done in life. So it'll be
Bucket list.
it'll be spent a night in jail, had a threesome. Skydive. Yeah, it's a shame that's never going to be on one, because that would be. I mean, how many people could put that? Do you know what I mean? How many people could tick that? It'd be interesting to know. I mean, if we could do a census.
Let us know, listeners.
Yeah, how many? I want to know how many percentage of friends of the pod have.
We can put it up on questions on Spotify. I'll put it up as a poll.
Have they? How many people? How many friends of the pod out there have succumbed to motorway ejaculate?
Have you succumbed to motorway
I thought
ejaculate?
we're going to move on, but we're back on this again.
How should we frame it? High
Just in a
speed,
different
high
way.
speed, long distance ejaculate.
Oh, damn, man.
I love that. High speed, long distance ejaculate.
The new album.
But getting back to your dog, Alice.
Let's say, how did we get
To the dog.
here from there?
Yeah, ejaculate. No, poor dog. So your Belarusian dog, who may or may not be a spy of Putin.
Can I?
sorry,
can I just
no, go on.
interrupt to ask? Is it Raven who is the Belarusian, or is it Nevada?
Nevada.
Right. Okay.
What a cool name for a dog.
I didn't name them.
But that's still a cool name, Nevada.
It sounds like the sort of thing your mum would have given as a middle name to one of your sisters.
And what was the other one? Raven and Nevada.
Raven's black with
Nebraska.
really, really blue eyes. Yeah. Raven reminds me of Lenny a little bit, actually.
Sherelle, Nevada.
Sherelle Amber Rianne Armstrong. Savannah Echo Glenn Armstrong.
Yeah.
Mine's just my
Blue
family.
Jameson Benjamin.
Hey, just kind of family names.
Well, it hits the spot, really, don't it? Well,
Yeah, you got to keep it real.
got to keep it real and keep it in the bloodline. But not in an Egyptian/Tugger, anyway.
Yeah.
I hope not.
No. Bathing in that bloodline ejaculate.
No,
No, you don't do that.
Man, I don't even know we're gonna be able to
Say
put
that
this
again.
episode on the radio. This might just be a YouTube
Do you
and a
reckon this is the
Spotify
worst
one.
we've ever been? Do you reckon?
It's because you're on the Crabbies, look. You're on the Crabbies.
Do you reckon
You've had a gin.
Do you reckon I'm worse than I usually am?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, there we go then. New low.
Just it's just the sexual references, really, but
It's
it's all good. It's life, isn't it?
Really.
This is why
There's like
I
a
like
quota
an
for
X-rated
how much.
Pandoras, because I'd quite like to actually push the boundaries one day and
Just see how far we can go.
yeah, just not give a beep. See, I wanted to do it then,
Yeah,
but I have
yeah.
to go beep.
Yeah, not give them monkeys.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, I
We'll
guess
probably end up bathing in our own ejaculate.
Stop!
and then afterwards,
Live on the pod.
afterwards we're like, what have we done?
Too far.
What have we done?
Should we still upload it to YouTube?
Yeah, why not?
Just do it. Or like sweating and that. Already regretting it, but still pressing send or upload or whatever. Yeah.
Pandora's Box on OnlyFans.
Oh mate,
Oh
yeah.
no.
That would be like the first thing we'd put on is
I put the dash cam on.
yeah. Put on a video of you earlier on, freaking naked on a beach full of people.
Oh yeah, I did get naked on the beach.
Yeah, wait.
Did we not even get to that?
We didn't even get to the end of
So
the
yeah,
story.
so we went for a nice little dip in the
Rewind.
sea, and then
I
Drew.
didn't have my swimming trunks, so I just
Yeah.
went in my pants.
Yeah, so Alice had like a bathing suit on under her clothes, and I just had like some generic sort of like meshy
Shorts.
gym/swim shorts on. They might even actually be swim shorts, but I don't know. I usually use them for gym shorts, but I digress. Anyway, we were sorted. Drew, on the other hand, just had pants. When I say pants, I mean boxers. He didn't have like little briefs. That would have been even funnier. But
White fronts.
yeah, like freaking like the most British episode of Baywatch you've ever seen. Do you know what I mean? Like speedos, but they're actual just white briefs. Anyway, Drew like dived into the sea in slow motion, like some sort of British David Hasselhoff.
Oh yeah.
But then obviously when he came out, he didn't want to put his shorts on again. Like once we dried off with the towels, he didn't want to put his shorts on, obviously over some soggy pants. So Drew took like a quick look over his shoulder. It just so happened that the people in that, which was probably about 25 degrees of the whole spectrum, just so happened in that
The place I looked had no people.
yeah, there wasn't any people there. Whereas there were actually like freaking
the left.
loads of people behind him, like loads. And then he literally,
right behind
he
us
was like,
as
"Oh,
well."
it's all right. I'll be real quick." And anyway, he like took his freaking boxers off, so he was literally had his bare naked ass and his balls and his penis like flapping in the wind. And then went to go put his shorts on like real quickly, but where he like tried it almost too quickly.
Yeah.
It was like
And
a
it's
side
when you got a
thing
wet
to the
foot
side.
and you try and put it through a dry short,
It happens.
it gets stuck.
Yeah, it happens. It's like when you got a wet foot and you try and put a sock on, and it's really annoying.
And it just doesn't move. It's like
the
friction.
leg version. And anyway, he put his leg through the freaking like Lego of the shorts, got stuck with his ass out, mooning everyone, and his balls and his penis flapping everywhere, and then fell over. And it was like a rocky beach. It was alright once you got into the sea, because as is often the case, it gets to the point where the rocks cut off and it gets sandy. But it was like, it was like hurting us just walking up on our feet, from the sea. We were like, ooh. So then literally Drew fell on his bare ass onto these like jagged
And I
things.
still couldn't get my foot through the face.
I'm like-
Just lying on the floor like,
And like
trying to put my foot through.
The fact that
a beach full of people, and they were like people just like laughing behind him and that. But he
Honestly, those
he
ladies
gave
on
him a
the
good time.
chairs.
Ladies were
those three
mortified.
ladies were
They were
laughing.
not
No,
Well, the blonde lady
us-
was laughing quite a bit.
I bet they were glad they came out today. Do you know what I mean?
It was just the fact that one minute I looked round and you were like, right, I'm going to do this. And I was like, oh, I better look away. And then it was a bit of like a kerfuffle.
It was so good.
Shining in the sun.
It was so good.
Just pebbles everywhere.
Flashbacks of it.
I know.
Hilarious.
I'm
Have
happy.
flashbacks of my lily white ass forever.
I'm never gonna forget that. That's like another story, Yeah,
It's happened on holiday.
I'm crying.
yeah.
Something had to happen on holiday.
Oh,
That's already
Drew
made
makes
this.
it happen.
That's already made this whole journey worthwhile. I said, me and Drew are actually here to do sort of work and that, but we've mixed sort of business with pleasure. Do you know what I mean? But we're doing some nice stuff. We're doing some stuff like a folk festival. But yeah, that's already made the journey. It's been worth it just for that memory.
Stop it.
The only regret is obviously I was sort of drying myself at the time as well.
God.
If I had my phone handy, I'd have loved to have filmed that. We could have uploaded that on the YouTube.
We can check to see if the pub has any cameras.
Some CCTV. Imagine that, some
Can you
CCTV footage of
imagine?
just Drew just with his ass out and falling over on the stones. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
It was your face as well as you went down. It was just like, August, it was like your white bum. And your face like,
The shot.
and then just pebbles flying. Oh my
Shocking
god.
sense.
I definitely scrambled then. I was a bit. I was like, oh god, what's happening?
And
This
then
was
Evie
supposed to
was
take
like, "What's
2
going
seconds.
Uncle Drew's got his bum out.
Yeah, she loves it. That's
She
great.
did.
That's great humour for little kids.
Yeah,
isn't it?
she
It's
thought that was
humour for little
great.
kids.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. What can you say? Eh?
Damn. Damn. Don't go to the beach today.
I bet everyone that was there was glad they went when they were there, because they probably don't usually get that.
Yeah, I wonder how many. Yeah, I bet a few people went home like, oh, we never got. Guess what happened at the beach today?
They'll be like telling all their mates about it. They'll be like going for like lunch and stuff on like Sunday, and they'll be like, oh, some guy had his bum and his balls out on the beach the other day, and then he fell over.
Stacked it.
You know. So yeah, that's good, isn't it?
The legs akimbo.
We watched a cool documentary last night on Robert Johnson, didn't we?
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
Who was? I think we talked about him on the pod before, but he was that guy that's like legendary blues artist who's supposed to be one of the best blues artists of all time. Who like supposedly did a deal with the devil to become like the best musician around. That was really interesting, wasn't it?
Really interesting. And I find it mad whenever you like have more of a story behind something, it gets you more into things. Like I've listened to Robert Johnson's music before, and it never really impressed me like so much. I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah,
but
just
now,
like now that whole
element.
Story behind it, I'm like
resonating.
and I even like had a little rest in the bedroom earlier and just put it on and like listened to a couple of tracks on my headphones and was like, wow, yeah, this is crazy cool.
Well,
like,
I can't remember if he's the first one.
For like the 27
Club.
Club.
He might be the first one of the 27 Club. So obviously there's that notorious 27 Club of which like Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, Jeff Buckley, many more are like a member of. Basically where it's like awesome musicians all seem to start at 27. But I think he might have been the first one. Unless anybody out there can clue us up and say, actually, guys, there was somebody earlier. It was Gustav Solvrogaboch.
Imagine going back like Mozart times and all of that stuff.
That's what I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
thinking, I wonder if there was like some old school classical composer that was like part of the 20. That was like the very first one. You know, like
some good flute Neanderthal.
Yeah,
It was just like
yeah. Just freaking kicked it when he was 27. Yeah. Who knows, man?
Cool. Yeah. How long's that been going on?
How long has this been going on? Do.
That was coming.
I need to go get my mead a minute.
Yeah, Drew, go get your mead, man. Go get your mead. But
Yes. This is good.
both Em and Allis work out with me.
I work out.
I work out. They both the Em and Allis work out. If you hadn't already noticed, but yeah, both work out. Me and Em reconnected many years ago actually because Em started working out with me, and
You did?
one thing led to another, as they say. And now, little veggie piggy, you train with us, don't you?
I sure do.
Yeah, it's really nice having you as a training partner, little buddy.
Little buddy.
I really enjoy it too.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. Because you were like
3
really...
times a week.
Yeah, you were really nervous about it at first as well, weren't you?
Yeah, you're smashing it now. And also, it's been really interesting to watch you from like completely beginning your journey to now. Because obviously, like anybody when they start.
Because now you're
anything,
hench.
Yeah, well, yeah, that. But also, your like confidence with like the movements and everything. It's all like completely changed, and you just go in and you just do it, and you're confident in doing it.
That's
and
what you gotta do, baby.
And you're smashing PBs every week.
You gotta go in and you just gotta do it. You
Yeah.
smash it.
Whereas you were super nervous at the start. But you just...
I
But
think
it just
that was
goes to-
more of the way that I looked, and then probably sweating or pulling weird gym faces and
But
stuff.
like, if
I was
you're
just
not
really
sweating and
nervous
putting
about
weird
doing
gym
it.
faces, then
Not
you're not
even
doing
that.
it right.
Also, does it put you at ease when I'm just there farting?
Yeah.
Well, at ease is probably not the word.
We
I
do,
mean, it would be better if you stood outside and did it. But
we do laugh when it
Yeah.
happens, though, don't we?
Yeah.
'Cause I'll be
Especially
like-
when you're like squatting or something. It's quite
Yeah,
hilarious.
so I'm like,
Oh, that's how you know you're getting old. Mid squat, you're just
Oh.
farting.
well, sometimes Drew's the worst, probably the worst.
Yeah,
of
but
that.
Drew
Oh,
goes
mate.
outside.
How dare you, sir?
He's very polite. He goes outside, lifts his
He
Yeah.
does.
Lifts
No, he
his little
does
leg
when
up.
you're there. He doesn't if you're not there. If I'm there, he lets me bathe in it while I'm doing my freaking exercises.
That's what you do. We're doing like pull-up things, and you're
Hey,
farting,
if
and
Drew-
then I've got to go do them in your liquor.
In the fumes. Just breathing it all in.
Exactly.
Oh,
Doing
it's
the little
funny,
pull-ups
yeah.
and
Panting in the fumes of farts.
Yeah, but that's just like thing you do with your friends, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Me and Em don't like fart in each other's spaces and make each other smell
I
them.
was like, I don't know about that.
I'm like, I'm sure there's been a few times.
Not willingly.
Mostly it's been drunk though.
Yeah, I do think, to be fair, that's more of a guy thing, isn't it? It's like you laugh just because you fart, and then you laughing at you like hotboxing your mates.
Wasn't the oldest joke in the world about a fart?
Yeah, I think
remember that.
the oldest joke in the world. Yeah, we said that out. It was a quick fire fact on Pandoras Box before the video, wasn't it? It was like the oldest recorded fart. Wasn't it from somewhere like Göbekli Tepe?
I don't know.
It was from some ancient site.
It was a hieroglyph. It was like an ancient like carving.
I think it was like ancient Mesopotamia or somewhere like that, which obviously is that region, sort of like Syria, Turkey sort of region. But yeah, it was a fart joke. I can't remember exactly what it was. But
it was something about a lady sitting on a lap and
it was something hilarious, wasn't it? Like,
do you remember?
Lady sits on my lap, I fart,
the oracle?
or something like that. Yeah, oldest ever joke, and then maybe like oldest ever fart joke or something, just to make it easier.
Okay.
Because otherwise, like loads of stuff might come up, but or maybe just the oldest ever joke, just because then it validates it.
Faces a lady sitting upon a man's lap and farting or something.
Oh, here we go. The world's oldest recorded joke has been traced back to 1900 BC and suggests toilet humour was as popular with the ancients as it is today.
Go on. So what is it? What is it?
Something which has never occurred since time
immemorial, yeah.
A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap.
Yeah, see? I told you.
I love how that was like a freaking banging joke. Obviously, I think it's probably like lost in translation a little bit. Obviously, this is like an ancient language, but...
Or should I read out some more?
Go on then.
So a 1600 BC gag about a pharaoh is the second oldest. How do you entertain a bored pharaoh?
How?
You sail a boatload of young women dressed only in fishing nets down the Nile and urge the pharaoh to go catch a fish.
Oh, right.
That'd work.
They freaking need to up there. Comedy's come a long way.
Oh, here we go. The oldest British joke.
Oh, nice.
Dates back to the 10th century.
I'm disappointed that it's
reveals
that
the bawdy face of the Anglo-Saxons.
Because we're known for our humour as a nation, aren't we?
Okay.
Like it or lump it.
You ready?
Go on.
What hangs at a man's thigh and wants to poke the hole that it's often poked before?
Penis.
A key.
Oh. Well, friggin' I got it hook, line and sinker, didn't I? Yeah,
You did.
I took that, didn't I?
Yeah, there you
Yeah, I
go.
took the bait. I took
You
the bait.
did.
Of course, a British one was something to do with like penis humour. Do you know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
We have a lot of that.
Yeah, penis humour. Should we do some oracle cards on the pod? Because
oh yeah, what are these oracle cards? I've seen them floating about here, and they look really cool. I see a tree on the front.
That'd be quite a fun thing to do. So we've got these oracle cards. For people that don't know what they are, it's a bit like tarot cards.
Claire always says that it's like
the
really
version.
fun, toned down.
Yeah, it's not
version.
as intense. It's not as intense.
Oh, it's not intense at all. Oracle's sort of like the
It's
friendly bit of. Yeah.
But basically, you still like you. There's all these cards, right? You basically they're all face down. Hover your hand over it like you're freaking Yoda or something, or like Gandalf or Dumbledore. Pick your preferred fictional novel.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, let Alice. Do you want to go first, Alice?
Have
You want me to go first?
You've done them before.
I don't know. I don't know. How long have you had them? You've had them a long time, probably.
I think you got them for me for Yule.
I don't know, but either way, yeah, I'll do them first.
Then.
So
Give
look, we
them
have
a
these
shuffle.
cards. I'll give them a shuffle, and then I pick. What is it? Just one?
Yeah, we'll just do one.
Pick one, and then there's a little booklet, and then it basically says like what that means. So I mean, let's face it.
Or you can interpret it yourself.
This
But it's
is
more
just
fun
a
to
bit-
consult the book. I think.
Depending on what sort of listener you are, this is either deep spiritual voodoo, which is very meaningful, or it's just a laugh, right? Don't really care either way. Take what you want from it. We're just, it's a bit of fun, innit? If you want to look really deeply into it and really, believe in the whole Medupus of it, then you can. If not, it's just a bit of fun, innit? So we'll read out, obviously, what it apparently means and stuff, and we'll each do one. And you can take it on this journey with us. You want to get an inside scoop now of the inner workings of each of our minds, because this is going to be some deep, ancient mystical
Ritual magic.
knowledge that even we do not know about ourselves. So, consult the oracle. Which card is speaking to me, people? I'm laying out the cards. Which one do I want to take? Which one do I want to take? Which one's speaking to me? Which one is selling its soul to me as we very speak, enticing me to pick it at a whim? Which one? Which one wants me? Which one do I want?
Can I just say, you're going more and more red by the minute.
Yeah, I'm a bit sunburnt, everyone.
You look like a tomato.
It's been quite sunny today, and I ain't put any sun cream. I'm going to pick this card, which is 9. Coal Hazel. And it's a picture of, I assume, a hazel leaf with a little flower. Don't know if you can see that, everyone, but there it is. So,
Over there. Oh, that's nice.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Oracle,
Flower with a hazel.
tell
Do you want
me
me
what
to-
this means about
There's
myself.
a lot here.
We can take it in turns to read if you want, if you feel a bit overcome
No, it's okay.
with emotion.
So the keywords connected to this card are water, the moon, bounty and abundance, intuition, wisdom, insight, knowledge, sage advice, divination, poetry, creative pursuits, higher perspective, and clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
What does it say then, lady?
did you pick it up? Was it reversed or was it upright?
It was upright.
It was upright. Okay.
Erect.
Oh, here we go. So, are you listening?
Yeah.
Your feminine nature. The changing of the moon. The lunar principle of receptivity and mystery, and the goddess Sophia of higher wisdom are all relevant now.
Sophia.
Your female lineages.
My
have some-
female what?
lineages
Lineages, okay.
have something to
My
say
maternal line.
to you.
Right.
As,
Shut up, boy.
as do your
Quick with
spiritual
your jibber jabber.
heritages.
Oh, baby.
Take some quiet time. That'd be nice. To tune in and listen for their nurturing messages.
Nurture me.
Listen to your mama.
Nurture me with your silence.
Take your intuition seriously. Find time to sit by a body of water near your home.
Oh, this isn't in my head.
A lake, the ocean, a river, or a stream. This tree suggests appreciation.
Just for this week.
Well, that's
Yeah, it's
right. It is for this
And
week.
I've literally been in the water. In it.
It's been
Amongst
not just
it.
by it. You've been in it.
Bathing it. One with it. Joyous.
Wim Hofing it.
Wim Hof in it.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate cycles. What cycle are you in right now?
Are you due on your cycle?
Am I what?
Nothing.
Am I? Oh yeah.
Great.
I just realised what Drew said. Am I due on my cycle? Yeah, I'm due, and I've been feeling a bit emotional recently.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Respect.
Sorry, Diana.
This tree suggests acceptance of where you are right now, as it is impossible to push the river. It is a time to give gratitude for all that you have and to honour the earth.
That's nice.
I thank you.
Notice the abundance around you. This is a time for family time and family reunions.
Oh well, I do like
We
my
just-
family
And
reunions.
we just recently had a family reunion for you, didn't we? Well, sort of.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did it more for my granddad and for the person. Obviously, it was nice
also
for
it
me
was for you.
myself as well. But yeah, so my second cousins essentially. So basically, it was like my grandfather's niece and then her son. So my grandma's great nephew. So like I think it's like technically to me it's like my second cousin and like my what did they call it, like second cousin once removed or something? I don't know. Anyway, basically we're all
understand
still
those
family because obviously her grandfather is my great grandfather and her son, his great grandfather, is my great grandfather. So to me, you're still pretty close relation. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, like I love my grandfather and it is a very close relative to me. And if that's his niece, that's a close relative to him. So I consider them a close relative to me. So yeah, met them for the first time. They came down from Runcorn. And it was the first time my granddad met them and stuff because he had 3 brothers and 1 sister that he loved very much. And it was one of his brother's daughters that he'd never met before. His brother long since passed. and obviously as a result, sort of become like distant relatives, if you know what I mean. But yeah. Anyway, sorry to go on.
Tangent.
Yeah, but no, it's just yeah.
You have had a family reunion.
Mm.
This card invites you to find gratitude for all the mothers in your life. If you...
My mother, my grandmothers.
That's right.
I love you all.
If you require nurturing, cultivate friendships that can support you. Nurture others. Mother each other with compassion.
I will mother you.
It may be time to heal the mother wound.
Snuggle into my bosoms, everyone.
Perhaps this is the time for forgiveness. If you are a mother, or a father,
I am a mother.
make sure you are representing the best qualities of this role. If not, move towards changing your behaviour. Be the kind of mother that you would like to have yourself.
But I'm not a woman.
Be the kind of father that you would like to have yourself.
I try to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
went a bit floppy again. Happens from time to time.
Spend some time in nature and follow the course of the moon. Consider poetry, divination and meditation. Call up your inner muse as you can find inspiration here.
Oh, darling, I love finding that in a muse, you know.
Pay attention to your dreams
Harnessing that on
and
mofo.
creative urges.
Oh, I'm all about that as well.
You are offered wisdom that can be applied to any situation. Creative solutions are possible. Seek the advice of elders.
Seek the elder. Yeah, again, Grandad.
Yeah. If you seek clarity, this card will offer you sage advice. Go within and ask the ancestors for specific messages for you.
Man, nobody loves their ancestors more than me. I'm all about my ancestors.
I think that's it.
John Alfred, John the First, Jacob, Isaac, going all the way back. Love you. Oh, and Doris, thinking of you. Yeah.
Going back to the conversation earlier about DNA tests and things, I would love to do that.
Yeah, so cool, isn't it?
I think that's going to be
All of
my
them, Sarah.
next like birthday present.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool thing
you
to
should
do, isn't
definitely
it?
do it.
Just
Also,
'cause, like, my dad doesn't actually know his blood dad, and I feel like
Yeah, because your dad was
I feel
very
like a
similar
part of
to Josh's dad.
Me is missing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah, because your dad's very similar to our friend Josh's dad, isn't it? Like, was he adopted?
Well, sort of, yeah. He was adopted by his auntie.
Right, yeah, so similar-ish anyway. So he was adopted, a bit like our mate Josh's dad. So with like Josh's dad and that, he only really found out his lineage, didn't he, like a few years ago. Scotland. So is that like the? So what's the deal? Well, I don't want to obviously ask too many personal questions, but like, so if he was adopted by his auntie, why doesn't he know?
He knows who his mum is.
So he doesn't know his dad.
Which is obviously his auntie's sister.
Yeah, so it is really similar to Josh's dad then, basically. Or very similar, anyway.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know really what, I guess, his surname would have been.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, let's face it, we usually, like, we have our father's names. You have your father's name. You have your father's name. Like, he would have a whole different surname.
Yeah.
And then that's obviously like 50% of your lineage, isn't it? Your DNA. Like, you just don't know. That would bug me.
Yeah, it would bug
if I
me.
didn't
It
know
bugs
that.
me,
That would bug
but
me.
I don't think it bugs him as much. But it
Really?
would be really interesting to see.
Do you reckon
if
on
he
some
has...
deep level it does though?
I don't know.
Or do you genuinely think he just doesn't care?
Well, I don't know. But it would be really interesting to try and see if he has any lost relatives, any siblings or anything like that.
Yeah, that would be super
And see
interesting.
how similar they might be to him.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? That's the interesting thing.
I'd love to find people.
I love it like that with all, yeah, because I've got like quite like a close family, really, even with my extended families and stuff. And it's like, even with things like, like my second cousin Natalie and that, like I can see, even though she's like 26, something like that, but like there's like things about her that remind me of Evie, which is like, you know what I mean, even though Evie's only 3, like they're both really sassy. Do you know what I mean? They both like give it quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? And there's like, do you know what I mean? There's sort of like women that, if you know what I mean, like if you're like don't do that, they'll be like, no, don't you do that, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you don't necessarily want your kid being like that sometimes because it's just like naughty, but at the same time I do sort of think it's quite funny. Like, do you know what I mean? I think I'd rather she was more assertive rather than too passive, because I think in the long run that will serve her, and it's something I like about my second cousin Natalie. Like she's funny, but like in quite like a sassy way. So I think
Yeah.
it's funny. That's like something in the blood. Do you know what I mean? Like little things like that,
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like, I don't know, it's quite important to know where you come from, I feel.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
helps you
definitely.
sort of find yourself a little bit and find your way in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, you don't have to. I think
Mm.
there's obviously lots of like really successful people that are adopted or don't really know who their true parents
Well,
are.
they don't have
I
a
think-
choice, though, do they? I mean, if they don't know any better and they're never going to be able to find out,
Yeah,
then
that's right.
the poor geezers just don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, what can they do?
But if it was me, I would definitely want to try and find out at least something.
Do you want to start shuffling these through? Because you're next. But yeah, no, 100%.
You should get Ancestry. It's really good.
Don't get me wrong, like obviously Dad's family that he was adopted into, which are practically family anyway. They've
So did
always
your dad-
treated us like
did
family,
your dad
and
have a-
they're amazing.
So he was adopted by your auntie. So did your auntie have a partner?
Oh yeah.
So he did have a dad,
Mhm.
right? So but it just wasn't his birth
And
dad. So.
had his name
Yeah,
and things.
yeah. That's
So
interesting. isn't it?
really, what he classes as his brothers or sisters are
Actually,
his
his
cousins.
Yeah.
So I consider my aunties and
2 for
uncles
1.
are like my great cousins.
So like in that regard, it probably feels a little bit confusing sometimes.
It is a bit weird, but obviously they are still family.
Yeah, they're
and
all your family. Yeah, man.
They've always
And
been amazing.
Blood is
and-
thicker than water. Blood is thicker than water. So
But
one
it
thing
would
you've
still
always
be
remember.
really interesting to see if there are others out there.
Yeah, 100%. Well, there will be. You just don't know it.
Hmm.
Could be me, Alice.
Ooh, I have
Hope not.
Oh, you got a reverse one?
What was it?
I have a reverse one.
Why don't you
What
do
is it? Reverse what? I am the oracle now.
I have
Yeah, I'm losing my voice.
reverse 11, and it's
Moinvine.
Moinvine.
Moinvine. Moinvine.
Moinvine.
Moinvine.
And it looks like some grapey blackberries on.
Oh yeah.
in front of
Grapey
the-
blackberries, not a grapey grape.
Grapey.
A grapey blackberry.
blackberries.
By the way, Alice, how dare you? No, not really. Fair enough. So,
I guess I should look
11.
it upside down as well.
Moin Vine. So totems, lions, sliffs,
Lions.
nymphs, elves, fairies, deities, Dionysus, the Green Man,
Ooh.
Pan, Lu, Lunasa, is the life and the death of the goddess, and the mother aspect of the goddess. Class, chieftain. Nice one, dude. That sounds
I
sounds
didn't
like
read any of those
Chief.
for you.
Sounds
I just
like-
went straight into it. Sorry.
sounds a bit like what's it called that they all play on Stranger Things? You know.
Oh yeah,
What,
like
what's,
War of the Worlds.
what's the club? What's the club?
Oh,
Hellfire Club.
War
It's
of
like
the
what they're
Worlds,
doing
what am I
that.
on about?
Your class is
World of
chieftain.
Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Sorry, War of
Dungeons and
Worlds is
Dragons.
better.
Dungeons and
Dungeons
Dragons.
and Dragons. That's it. Key words: bringing things to fruition, abundance, harvest, community, prophecy, psychic, enjoyment, celebration, laughter, abundance, summer, intoxication, ecstasy,
Mead.
ecstasy. Right after it says intoxication, ecstasy.
Intoxication. Ecstasy.
Oh.
Wine vine or wine vine.
Is it the upside down one?
Don't worry, there's the initial stuff.
Oh,
there's
and then it's the
reverse
upside down
section,
one.
So don't worry, my friend.
I think you just have to read the reversed one, don't you?
Why? Okay. Okay, I'll just read it. Reversed. Perhaps you are too uptight.
I've never
Sound.
ever
Or overly
Drew is uptight.
or overly controlling about a situation in your life. If so, just let go and allow yourself some downtime. Allow your inhibitions to relax.
Oh, like get naked on the beach.
Yeah,
Get your bum
yeah.
out.
Get your butt out on the beach, baby. You can't you can't release your inhibitions any more than that, really, can you? Alternatively, you may be overly proud or even condescending. Watch any tendency to lord it over others or feel superior. Others may see you as selfish or ego-centered. Mate, yours is real harsh.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Mr. Ego.
You may feel a need for ego aggression.
Really?
I
Or
don't feel this is
No,
your
this isn't
card, is
accurate,
it?
Drew. No,
this
this
isn't
isn't, mate.
Drew.
No, this isn't you, man.
maybe it's what's coming.
Drew's just gonna become a
This is gonna
freaking.
be an egomaniac.
Drew's gonna turn into Voldemort. Right now,
After
he's
the ecstasy comes the downfall.
he's gonna have a massive downer, and it'll be like Tom Riddle turning into Voldemort all over again. Drew Armstrong's gonna come and turn into. Oh, we'll have to come up with some anagram of his name. You may not be open to the flow of creative. Yeah, man, this is rubbish. You are so open to the flow of creative energy. You may not be open to the flow of creative energy and the energizing fire element. If you are stagnant, move your body to enliven your spirit. Try dance or yoga. Do you want to stand up and try some interpretive dance quickly? Come on. Yeah, feel
the
that leaving your body, that nasty juju.
Oh, I do feel better now, actually.
Oh, good, man. If you feel unworthy or frightened of attention directed your way, perhaps feeling you will owe someone something or will be taken advantage of, the energy of the lion may help. If you are feeling timid and unworthy or fearful, look to the lion, who radiates courage and strength, as well as willpower and ejaculate. No, I added that last bit. So yeah, there you go, man.
Oh, fair enough.
So
I resonated more with that last bit.
Don't worry, dude. That was rubbish, man. That wasn't an accurate thing. If you're feeling,
It wasn't your
if
card,
that made you
no.
feel bad, don't let it, because that was rubbish.
No, it's
Especially when
good.
it was saying, like, you know, about the creative energy is not flowing and that, like.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
So-
it's a bit funny.
Let's face it, we're basically playing like Snap, but without playing Snap, if you know what I mean. I'm basically what I mean is it's about the same level of his importance in the grand
Isn't
scheme
it?
of things. That's what I mean.
It's a bit like
Take them with a
horoscopes.
pinch of
Sometimes
salt.
it can really, really resonate, and other times it's just
Yeah,
load
it's like
of
a bit.
rubbish.
It's a
It's
bit
just-
of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's yours, Alice?
Number 19.
19. What is it? It is Edna White Poplar Aspen.
Oh, Aspen.
Do you know much about the aspen? No. Edna White Poplar / aspen. Totems: horse, particularly the horse that pulls the sun across the sky, and the white stag. Deities: the crone, the green man. Oh, just like Drew. Herne the hunter. Oh, I'm jealous of that. And Kernonos, which is basically the same thing as Herne the hunter. Key words: adversity, endurance, determination, spiritual strength, the small voice of God. Hello, Alice. I'm God. Guidance, encouragement, courage, protection, rebirth, and sacrifice. Was it upright or reversed?
Upright.
Is it just that one, is it? When you get this card in a reading, Alice, young Alice, you know that you are dealing with adversity. The poplar and the aspen offer you the strength to endure
challenges.
any adversity and promise success after your difficulties have ceased. Troubles are like storms. They eventually end. Sometimes you just have to hunker down and wait the tempest out. Afterwards, when the sun comes out again, you leave your shelter in the woods to see how everything fared. See what has survived. You may find trees down and that houses have blown apart. Still, you are alive and can begin again. You can rebuild. It is said that our challenges encourage us to build character, that difficulties help us to develop strength and resolve. In the midst of your troubles, when you are on your knees, you are more likely to ask for guidance and support. Your guides and helpers are waiting for your invitation. Go within and listen to that tiny little voice you will find there. Alice. This is where you will find solace. I love that word, solace. Support, courage, and wisdom. Ask for what you need to the tiny voice, Alice. Talk to the tiny voice. You are offered protection and shielding as you move through difficulty. You are encouraged to let go of that which is no longer yours. Give it back. Of that which has ended. You are reminded that challenges loss, and endings are part of the great round circle of life. Old dreams end, and you are asked to begin to build new ones. Rebirth, Allis, is just around the corner.
Well, there you go.
Quite fitting.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I
Do you
thought
feel
so.
that? Yeah, I know what you mean. I did actually think that was quite fitting for you, yeah. Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah. So there we go. We just had a nice little time
Yeah.
being oracles.
It's alright. We don't have to do mine.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, come on then. We've got to do yours.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dara, I forgot we didn't do yours.
Do
That was
it.
really rude, wasn't it? No, you got to do yours. Come on.
But I do mine all the time. I don't mind
The
Just
circle
stop.
will not close unless
Do you want our
Oh.
do you want our circle to be
forever
seasons
open.
they change
Oh, I like that
while
song.
God blood is raining?
Maybe not
I
really
have
sing
been
like that.
waiting all of the years all over the skyline. I have been
very good at
traveling.
Shuffle.
That's called The Circle is Unbroken. It's by the Incredible String Band. Check that out.
It's a very good song.
My version definitely didn't do it justice. Beautiful song.
I do find that oracle cards are a nice little way to like end like a
Your
night.
life. No, sorry. Yeah. No.
Took a very dark turn there.
Sorry, I can never say.
Well, we
No,
have our
it's
little
fine.
women's circle, don't we? And
Yeah.
we meet up every month, and we always do oracle cards at the end. It's
Yeah.
a nice way to sort of wind down and
It's a bit of fun.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of
definitely.
fun. Is that after you've all hit each other with pillows?
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. And we talked about what boys you fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought so.
Ooh. It's very autumnal.
You love autumn.
Because you're not here.
Oh,
22.
22.
Oh, your spindle.
Oh yeah, the spindle.
22.
If you notice they have like the little runic signs, that's like the Ogham
Oh,
alphabet.
Ogham Infinium.
Ogham?
Ogham.
Tree
What's
knowledge.
Ogham?
Tree knowledge.
Tree alphabet.
Tree alphabet.
Celtic tree
Wow.
alphabet.
That sounds cool.
I have a book at home, you can borrow it if you like.
Ogham means tree. Infinium means knowledge.
Tree knowledge. Ogham
I do like the pretty autumnal colours
Mm.
on that one.
Oya spindle totems. Thunder beings. Light beings. Thunderbird.
Oh God, not light beings.
Not light therapy.
Imagine if it literally meant.
Light languages.
Imagine if it literally meant the Thunderbirds. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the old 60s and 70s show.
Yeah.
Deities, guides, Brigit, Lu,
Oh, I love Brigid.
Lucina, Thor. The three faiths, spinning and weaving goddesses. Class, peasant. Well, you are from Spaxton, come on. Key words, fulfillment, delight, light, sudden insight. God, this is like spitting bars, bro. Fulfillment, delight, light, sudden insight. Thunder and lightning, release energy, illumination, your best efforts, completion of a task. Was it upright or was it
I
reversed?
can't
Alan?
remember, actually.
Emily, you
I
have.
feel like it was upside down, actually.
Do you?
I think it was.
Do you reckon it was?
Yeah, I remember being a bit like, oh, yes, I think it was upside down.
Well, you should have been paying attention.
Yeah, sorry.
But I will take your word
I'm
for
quite
it.
tired.
Yeah, fair enough. We're going to call it the end of a pod, I think, after this reading. So soak it in, people, and let us know if you... I was going to say if you want us to read your Ogham and Finium card, but I don't really know.
really
how
We
Why
could
not?
do one for the audience if we do it in
That
the
would be
future.
cool. That
Just
would be
like
cool,
actual
wouldn't
for
it?
all the people of the pod.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how we would do that. Maybe we could see if they direct it to us so that we could pick a card
We
for
could
them.
put them on the stories upside down and people could vote for the one that they want.
Oh, that would be a good idea. Yeah, but it means that people would have to be super interactive with us on Instagram. So make sure you follow Panstoras. Panstoras. No, yeah, it's where you store your pants. No, Pandoras Box on Instagram. Pandoras Box Podcast. So reversed, Emily. You may have to wait for your fulfillment.
Ah,
Keep to the task at hand. Do not lose faith. Are you feeling impatient and impulsive? Practice patience, young one. Your rewards will come through your determination and persistence. This is a time to carefully evaluate the situation. What must be addressed before right action can be undertaken? Let the transformative forces do their work. You stand on a threshold and may feel stymied, but in truth it is time to consider all that has brought you to this gateway. Don't bluster your way through things now. Rather take your time and avoid hasty decisions that may bring you more difficulty. Pause before you step through and begin your next action or activity. Count your blessings, Emily. Ask for help as you need it. If you are uninspired, allow the light to penetrate your being. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you can't see the forest for the trees, ask Spindle for sudden revelation and clarity. Breathe in the teachings of Spindle. All hail Spindle. There you go.
Yeah.
I have no idea who Spindle is, though.
No.
Spindle!
Spindle.
The tree.
Oh, sorry, yeah. That tree! Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Old Spindle.
Old spindle trees, as they're known.
Well, I feel...
So, Drew, do you want to play a little bit of
Circle is
slide guitar just to play us out? Do you just play that little thing that you made up earlier?
Yeah, I can't. I'll have to try and remember it. I can't remember what it was, but
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Do
you want to try?
Do a little riff. I could do a
Yeah,
little...
yeah. We were playing around with some after Robert Johnson last night. I actually found my little slide in my backpack randomly, and then obviously because we've been listening to Robert Johnson, who was like a bluesy sliding man. Yeah, we got on it. Guitars in dad-gad tuning for all you musicians out there. The slide is on the table.
That is on the table.
Slide is on the table. And Drew will now enable you to listen to his work.
Can you remember what I did? I can't remember.
I've got it on my phone, haven't I? But I don't think you were even using the slide.
I was doing this thing, like...
Sounds trippy.
Oh.
And that composition was called Bathing in Ejaculate. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another pod. I feel like there was so much more I want to talk to you ladies about.
Actually, to be fair. We didn't even touch on otters or foraging or anything.
Allis likes otters. Allis actually has done a lot for conservation and stuff, haven't you, for otters in Cummich? Surveys. No, that's cool though. Like you've I remember you like for a while were uploading cool like otter footage on YouTube, weren't you? So people can, one of your aliases can be the otter lady. You got many aliases. Alice is known as Veg Pig, Honey Badger because she has a vicious side, like a honey badger, you know, small but ferocious. Many a battle we have commenced in, just like on the African plains, you know, where a honey badger will try and fight a water buffalo, even though it's only 1/12 its size.
Just like rapidly attacking its legs.
Yeah, that is basically like Alice and me, isn't it though? But what other nicknames have we got? But yeah, wildlife conservation. Yeah. Pretty cool that you used to film those otters anyway. Because otters are pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah, did it through lockdown. We realised there were some otters living opposite our garden. Well, my parents' garden at the time.
Yeah.
That's rare. Yeah. That's a rare occurrence.
Yeah, because they're like making a comeback now. Because I remember my grandma Enid telling me that when they lived in Cannington back in the 70s, there were like still otters in Cannington at the time.
I've seen one at the Friendly Spirit pub before. Really? Yeah,
Whoa.
me and my friend Becky were having a pint one late evening, and
they're making a comeback. What was it
Making its
saying? Oi,
noise.
oi, you! And he looked over. There was a little otter.
I heard you're the otter lady.
Are you the otter lady? No any B&Bs around here.
Yeah, they had otters in the stream opposite my nan's house as well, in Currypool.
Mhm.
Yeah, and obviously Drew's very excited by this conversation because what do you think is the ancestor of the otter, Drew? The common water vole. I mean, it's probably not, but I mean, for all the long-term pod listeners, you'll know that everything once apparently came from
The
the
common
common water vole. That's like it's like a running thing anyway. That's like Drew thinks everything came from the common water vole. I mean, let's face it. Of all the things we've talked about on the pod that actually could come from the common water vole, that's probably the closest to actually being a reality.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything. Every single thing.
No, actually, I think you'll find that everything has evolved from the common water vole.
So Craigie brought in a water vole once.
Blasphemy.
Let's not incriminate our cat on the pod, please.
Sorry,
Emily.
They're
For
endangered
God's
creatures.
I know,
I
but
know.
you know, he was just doing what
They're
cats
not
do.
common anymore.
No, because of cats.
Oh,
Oh, weasels.
what a
Mink.
bummer.
Mink are the worst.
Mink? Are they
Mm.
vicious?
They're not a native species.
Oh, do we need to get rid of them?
Well, if they're caught or put into rehabilitation, they're not allowed to be re-released.
I like how it was like
Really?
rehabilitation because they're all drug
Well, no, if
addicts.
they're injured or whatever,
Iron water
Yeah.
voles.
they either have to keep them captive. I think some places are like no kill, whereas others will.
Just
probably
straight up
just-
merkage.
Really?
Mercantile.
Where are they native to then, if they're not native to here?
I think they're American mink, aren't they?
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like it'd be about right.
Didn't people used to wear like mink coats back
Well,
in the
grey squirrels
70s
are
and
American as
stuff?
well, aren't they? And they've like pretty much
Mhm.
decimated our red squirrel population in the UK.
Yep.
Just because grey squirrels are a little bit bigger, a little bit more vicious. So they've outcompeted our red squirrels.
They spread squirrel pox as well.
Do they?
Squirrel pox.
Is it like smallpox but for squirrels?
It just kills out the reds.
Oh.
Is it? Why doesn't it kill out the greys?
And it's something to do with red squirrels only eat from a specific type of tree as well. I think.
They're getting like their own back for the Europeans spreading diseases amongst the Native Americans. They're doing like the reverse, but in the squirrel world. Do you know what I mean?
Damn.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean though?
Yeah.
You know, they say that like white people spread. Obviously, it was an accident, but they spread diseases
the
amongst the
red
Native
squirrels-
American tribes. They're getting
I
revenge.
thought grey squirrels were like more aggressive as well. Than
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
they are,
Apparently.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
red squirrels are making a comeback now, aren't they?
Are they?
in
I think
some,
so. In certain places.
I think in like Scotland and that they still got some populations, haven't they?
Also, they've got an
And certain
entire
places
island
in
in
England.
Dorset, Brownsea Island.
And wildcats in Scotland.
Isn't it like Isle of Wight and places like that as
They're
well?
going to reintroduce.
I'm not sure about the Isle
lynx
of
at
Wight,
some
but I know
point.
that Brownsea in Dorset
Yeah.
is a National Trust like island, and it's full of red squirrels.
Mm.
I could have sworn it's like Isle of Wight or like Guernsey or Jersey or something like that. It's got like red
Oh,
squirrels on as well.
yeah, maybe. Probably.
I would be interested to know because obviously I know quite a lot about the Isle of Man and that's got quite an interesting ecosystem. Like it's got like
Wallabies.
Mm.
well yeah,
Most
but that's
interestingly.
obviously that's because they escaped a population escaped from the zoo and then they bred and stuff. But I'd be interested to know like because there are like certain animals that you can't find in the Isle of Man that you can find on the mainland and vice versa. Does anybody know? Is it like the same like the Isle of Wight and stuff? Is it like similar? Do you know? I wonder if there's like if anybody knows, let us know. Is there any
Yeah,
interesting animals that you can find in the Isle of Wight that you can't find on the mainland, or vice versa,
Well,
or
I know
any?
There's bound to be because I mean, if you think about Steepholm, which is that island in the estuary near to where we
Near
live,
Somerset, yeah.
there are species. I mean, it's only like insects and things like that, but there are species on that island that we don't have on the mainland, and that's
Is
just
there?
yeah.
What, literally like
But only, like,
species of
I'm-
insect that only live on
Yeah,
Steepholm
yeah,
in the world?
Yeah, and like butterflies and things like that. I'm sure,
Mad, isn't it?
or snails. I remember reading a book about it in the library.
You
in
know how like
Bridgewater.
everything's relative, like time, size, everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's like a tiny bug on Steepholm, which
Yeah.
just for people that are listening, if you don't know what Steepholm is, it's like the size of I don't know how long would you say Steepholm is? It's not even like half a mile, is it?
I don't know. I couldn't.
Can you
say.
look up like the square footage of Steepholm just while I'm saying?
It's a tiny little island. Nobody lives on it.
No, I think they
You can
used.
go
They
and
used.
see it though.
I think for a small time, like the Vikings tried to inhabit it, but I don't think it lasted long because it was just too small. But they were the ones that named it Steepholm as well, which is probably not surprising considering that Steepholm doesn't sound too dissimilar to Stockholm, and obviously that's like the capital of Sweden.
Steepholm is an English island lying in the Bristol Channel. The island covers 48.87 acres.
Right, so 47. So it's like big, but not like
at high tide, expanding to 63 acres at low.
right. So 63 acres at its biggest. But do you think there's like, because size is relative, you know how like the UK feels like size-wise to us? Do you think that there's like some tiny little bug that's like that bug it feels like the UK does to us? So it's
Surely.
like, do you know what I mean?
Hasn't even seen all parts of Steepholm.
Yeah. yeah. He's like freaking like, oh, I'm going up north today. And it's got like a northern cousin. He's like, why up, man? Oh, it's the southern softy coming over. Quick, get your gravy and chips. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm now just like reading about
Yeah,
it. It's
same
so
here.
interesting.
I'd like to think that
Um,
anyway. I'd like to think that.
Yeah, there's a small population of muntjac deer.
No.
Muntjac deer.
Are those one with the fangs?
They're the ones I was
Oh,
telling
those
you
the
about.
funny
They look
ones
weird.
with the
With the
strange-
fangs?
And they got these weird things on their nose,
Muntjac.
like the open parts. Do you remember I said that I saw it?
barking deer.
Can I see a picture?
Yeah, hang on.
I said I saw them in Crockerton. And
Well, that can't be right. Surely they come from Malaysia and like Asia and places like that.
Well, how
The Chinese.
how did they get there?
I don't know.
Fangs.
Drew thought he saw a deer with fangs.
no, it wasn't fangs. It was a weird nose.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It was, like,
These.
It was one of
they
those
do have a
muntjac then.
funny-
like they're almost like holes like up here in the head.
There's a water deer from China.
No,
You can get
they-
some
look,
in the UK.
It does say that most of them are from Asia, but there's a population in the south of England as well.
Oh, well, there we go.
I wonder how they got it. Do you know what I mean? Like, how did they get to the UK? Oh, it is almost like weird teeth, like fangs they have. Look at the skull.
Yeah, that's weird. But see that on top of its eyes, those they're like holes.
Yeah.
They're- You know what I mean? They're what I saw, and I was like, what is that?
That is weird. An invasive population of rhesus muntjacs exists in the United Kingdom and some in areas of Japan. In the United Kingdom, wild deer descended from escapees from the Woburn Abbey estate around 1925.
Wow.
The muntjac then expanded rapidly and are present in most English counties and
How did
also
they
in
get-
Wales.
How did they get to Steepholm?
They are fantastic swimmers. No, I
Just
don't know.
hopped on a boat.
Yeah, I'm on a
Popped over.
boat. Broker, take a look at me. The British Deer Society in 2007 found that muntjac deer had noticeably expanded their range in the UK since the year 2000. Specimens are now appearing in Northern Ireland and in the Republic of Ireland. Inhabiting tropical regions, the deer have no seasonal rut, and mating can take place at any time of year. This behaviour is retained by populations introduced to temperate countries. Do you reckon they're like really struggling in the cold area? They're like, oh, it's bleeding cold around here, mate. Because they're used to like hot Asian climate. Anyway,
Yeah, anyway, they have-
we'll leave it.
Yeah.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah.
Unless, do you want to say anything?
No.
Alice, do you want to say anything? Anyway, these ladies are awesome in the gym. We really appreciate them for everything they do. They're really amazing at all their creative endeavours. Great artists and good with all of their stuff. Alice
Nice.
has got a little company called Alice in
Natureland.
Natureland, where you do like pyrography and stuff, don't you? She's just shaking her head because she's really like overly annoyingly self-deprecating, but she's really good. Go check out her stuff if you want any cool like pyrography art stuff. I've got some stuff from her before, and it's really good stuff to get like around Christmas time. So both awesome art. Emmy has Fig and Fern Bakery, which is like a bakery company. It's not really very cost effective for them to bake too much nowadays.
Not really trading.
But you're also great at like art and just stuff in general. So really appreciate you both ladies. Really creative, great gym partners. And
Great
just
mum.
Huh?
Great mum.
Yeah, I mean of course is a great mum as well.
Thanks.
But just like great ladies, so appreciate you having you guys as guests on the pod.
Thank you.
Hopefully have you both on again in the future, and we can talk about
Yeah.
all sorts of crazy stuff again. Because I said it's like I haven't really scratched the surface really.
No, maybe next
But,
time we'll be less tired and maybe less intoxicated.
Less busy bathing in a jacket. But yeah, cheers everyone. Have an awesome week, and we shall see you next time on another Pandora's Box.
Bye.
Peace.
We love you.